All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Sidestore Gaming's MaxPax in the bottom right, Clem in the top left side. It's the Warty Mondays weekly number 57. And it's a matchup for the ages. These two are fantastic players. And I've heard this is a good match. They play about 6 times a week. I don't cast many of them to put on YouTube because there's too many. But they're very good at getting to the finals of these European weeklies. And I do try to cast usually about 1 of these, occasionally 2 every week or so. And this is going to be a MaxPax build, guys. Pylon at home. While you wait for your probe to get across the map, immediately build a pylon over there. We'll see what he can get done. Barracks into gas goes up. Can he go for a gateway as well? Why does he go here? To see if an SCV is coming out, hey? And I guess he wants to delay coming in to make it look like a standard gate scout, which means you send it in right now? A pylon scout, sorry. So he's saying if I build a pylon on 18 seconds and then scouted, it would come right now, yeah? Actually, no. This is maybe slightly too early for a gate scout, but it's too late for a pylon scout. I wonder if Clem can read into that. If Clem is a true genius, he is going to read into this and know he's being proxied. No one can figure that out. Now, with this build, normally you chrono 2 zealots. So you see, he didn't chrono his probes a second time. He's going to chrono a zealot and a second zealot and then stalkers. Meanwhile, getting up a nexus and a cybercore behind this for a very efficient, aggressive opening. This build used to be a nightmare to deal with. I remember back on 2000 atmospheres, dude, if someone did this build to me, I'd struggle so hard to not fall behind because you always end up canceling your command center. And then the thing is, their nexus is not very late. It's a super streamlined build. Oh, we forgot to build the second zealot. Okay, that's a doo-doo, that is. It's a bit of a doo-doo, man. That second zealot, I think, could have started slightly earlier. Then again, Nexus is there. Probes are still building second gas as well. Remember, there's no gateway at home, though, which means you've got nothing to defend the Reaper. So you have to build the Stalker and then either recall it or defend with just probes, which is very nasty. So the Reaper's going to get some damage. This probe, though, oh, it's distracting. This probe is so good for MaxPax. Clem would be much better off going to the main base where he's got endless probes he can harass. But instead, now he pulls back 2 zealots. Oh, yeah. He's got the reactor already halfway built. He's not willing to give that up. The zealot's going to go after it. Dude, the fact that the Reaper wasted all that time going to the corner is so bad. It's a tech lab, actually, not a reactor, which is good for Clem. It means it builds faster and he can go straight for a Marauder. Marine's going to pull back. Doesn't want to lose this to the Stalker. The grenade's very good. Wants that zealot, but he's not going to be able to get it. That SCV does get spotted over there. Does MaxPax go for it? Yes, he does with the Stalker. Second Stalker's on the way. This zealot will go down to the Reaper, but as will the SCV off on that edge of the map. SCV gets blasted off the edge. Command center very heavily damaged. The fact that Clem's still trying to fight to defend this is a little bit wild. The second Stalker's about to come in. Can he defend this? I think that yellow hit point SCV should build the base. Yes, it can. Marauder is here. The zealot's almost dead. Once the zealot's down, oh, good pullbacks on these SCVs. One of them does go down. The Stalker's dancing. There's no concussive shells, so they don't have to worry about getting shot down as badly. A couple of volleys on the Reapers and the Hellions. The Marauder will back off, afraid of that third Stalker that he knows is almost here. Still no bunker up on this natural. Clem did preserve his commands. I know he didn't have to cancel it, but it is massively delayed. Hellions, of course, going to finish that Stalker off. Meanwhile, the Marauder's not focus firing. A little sloppy for Clem, but it's okay. He gets rid of these Stalkers. And it looks like this was an overcommitment for MaxPax. Then again, oh, got to be careful, mate. He's still got nothing at home. That Hellion, even deep in the red, could cause havoc. Stalker's going to rally out and get away from this. Concussive never got made in this game, guys. He's going to try and bring these Stalkers to the front. MaxPax going deep, man. They say go hard or go home. Well, in this case, I think Clem's going hard into his home. The Hellion does get inside, but there is a battery. And the battery does save those probes. That battery was life-saving. If it wasn't for that battery, I think this would be a disastrous situation for MaxPax. He has no production. And he's building a Warp Prism, guys, which is the dumbest unit you could build right now. He literally doesn't have any units. Wait, how do you warp in? Oh, he's got 2 gateways in the back. I'm blind. Never mind, guys. I'm actually blind. I was like, why are we friggin' not building gateways, man? Turns out he's still got 2 in the back. Okay, never mind. 2 probes do go down on the Natty, but I think this is, I would call this flying colors, the way Clem has held this. This is about as excellent as it gets. He sees an incredibly delayed Twilight. He knows he's got nothing to worry about for a very long time. Hey, probe block. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Vikings on the way as well as siege tanks. He's doing a bunker on the high ground. I would like to see a bunker on this natural. This you know, blink stalker pressure could be pretty good, but it's not a blink stalker pressure. It is a 4 stalker blink no blink build. Remember guys, the blink no blink build, you don't actually have blink. You have to unload and then use the prism to simulate blink. Red hit point Marauder is a juicy target. Gets it, pulls back. The Viking, of course, does take a fair bit of damage, but the prism does as well. He's going to rotate to the natural, where the siege tank should defend this area, but the stalkers could come around to that north side if he realizes. Hey, gets himself a Viking. Not bad. Does take some damage on the stalkers, but that's okay. Gets another SCV there. I mean, this is a lot of damage on these stalkers, though. Red hit point stalker left out if Clem spots that. Could grab that freebie, but he's not quite going to. Okay, wow. All right, 2 more gases are coming in. Okay, we've got the Robo there. 2 gates coming in. 4 gas. MaxPax is going to go for the splash damage, and he's going to go there fast. Does Clem spot the observer? Let's go to his camera. It's right here, guys. It's on there. I'm just going to keep showing you guys whenever we've got the screen over it. We'll see if Clem spots it. See, right now it's just off his screen. It's right there. It's right there. He sees it. He just moved his camera in to try and spot it. So he zoomed his camera in and out there slightly because he was like, hey, there's probably an observer here. Let's take a look. So he kind of did Sorry, I don't actually have a way of zooming in. Oh, that's because I'm on his camera.
Complete.
There we go. Yeah, you basically do these ones, and it's easier to see the blur. So pros will often just do this, or sometimes they rotate as well. They just do that for a second over an area where they think the observer is likely to be, and it's a bit more apparent, the shimmer, as that changes, as you kind of zoom that screen in and out. 2 SCVs down, beautiful harassment, especially with 2 Vikings out. This is incredibly risky. Third Nexus coming in. He's going to be Psy Storm charged. 2 more gateways as well. He's going to bring him up to 5 gateways. Oh my gosh. He just got 4 Marines. 5. There's like 5 or 6 Marines right there. Dude, that's way too efficient. The Vikings are going to go around. He's going to try and land those in the main to clear out the workers. But he pulls them back. And he actually finds the prism. That's huge. And he gets it. 250 minerals down the drain. Well played. Actually, did they make Warp Prism cheaper, guys? Is it still 250? Or did they make it 200? I think it's still 250, right? They always play with like little costs of things, and I kind of forget sometimes. In my head, it's still the old cost. I think it is still 250 for the Prism, though. 4th and 5th barracks coming in after 3rd command center. Nothing too crazy there. How many High Templar are there? 3. 3 High Templar gathering energy. Gonna add a 4th and a sentry. Stalkers grabbing themselves a Marine. And of course, forcing the stim, which means that medevac healing is going to be much required. Stalkers, do they go for a Marauder? Hey, he gets a Marine and a few shots on a Marauder and blinks away again. Really nicely played. Of course, this does allow Clem to cross the map without getting harassed too badly. Where are those Vikings? Looks like they did pull back to the army. And the Stalker does go down. Scan sees the High Templar. Tanks, of course, capable of focusing those. MaxPax got to pull that sentry back. Marine in the bottom left. So right now, Clem is denying a 4th from being taken. He's threatening. Doesn't seem like he's too confident forcing a fight into Storm, though. We've got a Zealot drop on the other side. The Prism did get rebuilt very quickly. Because he already killed the Prism, he might have his guard down. Oh, the Widow Mines! Oh my... He saved them! He saved them with the medevac. I thought all 4 mines were going to go down. That is crazy, man. Zealots get into the main base. The SCV's taking damage. Widow Mine gets a beautiful splashy, as do the siege tanks. Sentry's going down as well as a Zealot. But much more damage in the main base than Clem is used to taking. Normally, he leaves 8 Marines and a medevac in the main. Because he'd killed the Prism so recently, he thought he could skip it. And he does get punished. Big storms on the bio. Good pullbacks. The tanks, are they going to go down? Yes, they are. But at what cost? All the High Templar are gone. It's an Immortal and a few Stalkers left. I think Clem can fight this out. Once the Immortal's gone, what damage is there in this army? The answer is none, mate. Those Stalkers stopped to kill a Rallying Marine. It looks like 10 SCVs is the final tally that did go down. The Warp Prism recalled out, guys, so we can go back and do that again. The Vikings, of course, will go out the left side of this map hunting for that Prism. Which point is... Oh, Stalker. No, he does lose it, doesn't blink it in time. 1,000 resources lost difference. Vikings. Oh, they're moving a bit too far to the right, maybe? No, the Prism actually comes inwards. 3 ghosts on the way. That's going to be a huge power spike. No Robo Bay just yet. 57 workers against 56. Terrible for MaxPax. He needs to find some magical storms. Oh, are we going to go Archon push? Oh, he wants to hit pre-ghost, but the ghosts are coming out now. This couple of EMPs could be deadly. I'd love to see Clem pre-split. He's not even healed up. He cannot afford to panic stim. Oh, MaxPax is going to get some damage done. There is a Liberator and a Mine, though. That does help a fair bit. The Bio's already stimmed a bit earlier than I think he should have. That EMP whiffed! He whiffed his first EMP. That's real bad. It's real bad. Oh, there's still a few EMPs left in there. Good storm. Those medevacs taking big damage. Bio pulling into the mineral line. Got to be careful. Zealots in the natural tearing up 8 SCVs. Oh, not just 8. Make it 11. Oh, the misrallied Immortal. Those are so expensive, man. Dude, I mean, Immortals are back to 250 minerals now from 275, but they do attack a little slower than they used to. Second Robo Bay, +1 finally coming in. MaxPax does have a 4th almost finished, but how does he secure that 4th? Because I think Clem, yeah, as soon as he finishes healing this army, I feel like he's just going to go. He does leave the Marines in the main this time around. PvT looks kind of rough now. Yeah, if you watch games versus Clem, every matchup looks rough. Against regular Terrans, I actually don't know where the matchup stands. Late game is really Terran favored. But outside of late game, I think it's probably a little Protoss. If you took late game away, I think it's maybe quite Protoss favored. But then it's like at the moment, Protoss is too good at running away with the game in the mid game, and Terran is way too good at running away with the late game. I'd say it's too favored in both of those periods to be like a super nice matchup. Oh, one Zealot goes down inside the Prism. Dude, those Marines waiting for that is huge. MaxPax kind of on the back foot from earlier on in this game when those Stalkers first got overwhelmed. But he fought back with a few nice moves. Zealots do get cleaned up though. Good micro for Clem. Clem's 4th base now established. And that 2-2. I always say that once the 2-2 finishes, the game shifts. And usually it shifts pretty heavily from Protoss having good windows, good timing attacks, good Zealot run-bys, to the Terran is never going to be that far behind in upgrades anymore, is often even ahead on upgrades at 2-2. It shifts to that late game sort of stage. It's like the beginning of the late game is when 2-2 kicks in this matchup, and it gets scary for Protoss there. Now, because MaxPax is on the back foot, he doesn't have many aggressive kill timings. He does have a lot of splash damage, and then he's got 3 Colossus with extended thermal lance coming in. He'll have +2. He's going to have a lot of storm energy. Like, I think he's got a pretty good defensive setup. He won't die immediately, but if Clem just turtles, builds a 5th command center, builds a 6th command center, goes into range libs, you know, that puts the onus on MaxPax to do something. So when you're behind in StarCraft, you often want to use your defender's advantage like MaxPax is, work your way back into the game in the long run. But when you've got the shadow of late game PvT over your head, number 1, and number 2, Clem, much better late game player than MaxPax in this matchup. We got to be honest, MaxPax is not a good late game player. He's fantastic, one of the best in the world in the mid game. And because of that, he almost never has to play the late game. And when he does, it feels like he's got some things down really well, but he just doesn't quite have the whole picture kind of prepared and organized in enough of a way to stick together. And you see he's making a lot of Immortals and Archons right now. They're very good if the Terran does a half-cocked timing right now. I don't think they scale particularly well into the late game. Very mobile, chunky units, very weak to EMP. They do take up a lot of supply. Couple Marines getting cleared up. 5th base will go down now. 5th and 6th command center. 3 more barracks, so 8 barracks total. Fusion core. Ship weapons +1 already almost finished. Exactly what you need. Nice feedback and storm combo. Another feedback on the other ghost. Feedback is a very important spell at the moment because Storm's cast range is a little bit less than it used to be. The damage output's not as high. Here we go. Protoss army trying to pull back there. Oh, good EMPs. Still, I like the spread on these High Templar from Max. Full energy High Templar comes forward. Does get a decent storm there. Snipes come in though, do take out that High Templar. The Colossus already took a big beating. The Vikings, they do take a volley from the Stalkers, but they're not taking as much damage. Archons from the south, Stalker, Immortal Zealot, Colossus from the right side. Does eat a lot of his own storm damage there, but that might be okay. The Archons and Storms, big damage on that army. He does walk through another one of his storms, though. Is this worth it? MaxPax's own High Templar dying a Side Storm. You've got to be careful of that. He's got a wall of immortals, but no support. Oh, wait, here comes one more storm, helping to back things up. A few zealots. But it looks like Clem was a bit too far ahead for too long in this game. GG, well played. All right, guys, MaxPax in the top right of Tokamak, Clem in the bottom left side of the map. And I think this is, of course, one of the last tournaments using this older map pool, right? I think it should be all new maps from now on out. Nice early probe coming out after the gateway. Very safe, very chill. The barracks and the refinery coming up as well. So I think, you know, that first game was pretty good for Clem, but it really came back to, I think, the Stalkers overstaying. If he wasn't able to kill those Stalkers, if they pulled back just a little bit more, kept the gateway alive, I don't think Clem could have pushed out to the gateway. And if MaxPax just kind of kept Clem uncomfortable by preserving those Stalkers, it would have been huge. It's always hard as the Protoss player, though, because you're like, well, I need to do damage. I've committed to these units. I can't just, like, what if he's greedy? You know, I've got to get in there. I've got to make sure he's playing safe. And I think sometimes you just go that tiny bit too deep when you should have pulled back. Hindsight's 20/20. I can see everything. It's easy for me to know when the player should pull back. It's very hard for them to know. They don't get to see the whole map. Well, great block. 500 minerals. It was like a good 6-7 second delay there. That SCV could have hopped off to try to intercept, but now his shields regenerate, which means he's out of there. 2 hit points. Probe does survive. And this was Cybercore before Nexus. Pretty standard stuff for Maxi. Reaper into Marine. Wonder if Clem builds 2 Marines. We're seeing that more and more these days as players build 2 Marines so that they can defend with 2 Marines and an SCV against the Adept. Little armor suit there. All right, Adept's gonna come down here, chase that Reaper away. Does he double back? Yeah, he doubles back. He says, "Hey, if you let that shade finish that, then you actually let me into your base." MaxPax should have cancelled the shade, but actually, tech wasn't down yet, so he can't actually confirm what's going on. And now he doesn't know that this Adept is shaded onto the map. It was indeed just 1 Marine with the bunker into that reactor. Second gas is mining. Do we see a tech lab or a Hellion? Hellion it is. Reaper goes into the Natty. Gonna throw a grenade, bounce that Adept, jump into the main base. Red hit point probe looks like a juicy target, but immediate probe pull from MaxPax. Oh, the sledge. Oh, no escape here, mate. He canceled the shade. Oh, I think that's a doo-doo. Shouldn't have canceled that. Could have got that Reaper. Instead, Reaper gets away with a few hit points. Injects some combat drugs and gets out of there. This Adept's gonna shade backwards as well. Oh! Cancels. I think it's worth it to get an SCV and damage another Marine. I would agree with him. Getting SCV kills for early Adepts is always nice. Tech Lab goes down on the factory and the starport. This is a complete wall off, which means, of course, a tank here is incredibly safe from Stalkers blinking into your main. No way for them to squeeze past those buildings. Second gate and Robo's coming in for Max. He's got his warp gate now finished. And looks like he wants to take a 2-gate third. Adept pushes back the Adept, the Hellion Reaper. Third Nexus goes down. Raven's on the way. Very standard build orders, but I would say MaxPax is the one who's slightly more on the edge of being in a greedy position where Clem should want to do some harassment to slow him down. A Reaper goes down. Small mistake. Are these games live? That's a question we get 400 times a day while casting the best games of StarCraft. Point of the best games of StarCraft is they are a selection of the best matches from the last week or two. Try to do this show every week, though we did, of course, skip last week since I was overseas in Canada. But, yeah. These games are never going to be live. Otherwise, we wouldn't know that they're the best. That's why we don't have any predictions running during best games of StarCraft, as anyone could look up those results. Usually Saturday my time, Friday if you're in North America or Europe, the afternoon/evening. Afternoon if you're in North America, Europe, that'd be the evening time. We are getting into summertime for me. It's now winter for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, which is exciting. It means my stream starts a few hours earlier, usually about midday Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 p.m. Central European time. Oh, Helion's going to see a forge and a few gateways. Good sign of an economic focus as the Raven comes in, gets a bit of mining time, and one probe. I think one probe normally not good, but if you deny a bunch of mining like that, you're absolutely okay with that. That's a very quick third, guys. Notice the barracks aren't producing. He's even delaying the reactor. So he's very happy to go to the next level. The problem is MaxPax has already seen this. Now Clem finally, he spots the observer and he's like, ah, damn it, you know. You don't, because the thing is MaxPax now can hold the probe key down and be very greedy. That being said, he's not choosing to. Could also move a probe out and take a fourth right now. Seeing that third command center, I really do feel you can go take a fourth Nexus. But MaxPax doesn't really do these sort of economic adjustments to his builds very much. He might feel a little more confident, a little safer, but he doesn't make a big adaptation. We're at Stellarfest in Canada, guys. There's a big tournament down there. In Ottawa, believe it or not. It's fun. Really cool tournament. Cool city, actually. Had a big dump of snow just on the finals day, which was really cool. We're inside watching Clem and Zaun and Trigger and Beyond fight it out, and outside was a ton of snow dropping down, which was a lot of fun as an Aussie. He doesn't get to see snow very much. Oh, the Raven! He's going to get the Raven! Super worth trading a Stalker. Well, he does lose the second one, but gets a few Marines as well. I think that's always worth it for MaxPax. He gets the third Marine and a Raven there for just 2 Stalkers. Happy to take that trade. He's got to be nice and clean afterwards. Okay, so the third's floating out. How much do we commit to aggression? I feel like he should just start armor and chill. Get a 4th and 5th barracks. I mean, he probably wants to scare MaxPax by moving on the map, but he doesn't want to bleed too many units out. It would be cool if he moved forward and sieged here, and then tried to maybe split some drops out. But of course, MaxPax, ready to go into the drop. Now, we know Clem leaves this in the main every game, but he should be up here or over here. Here, he's behind the barracks, which is a bit far back. Siege tanks unsieged to stop themselves friendly firing. Marines do clean up the hallucination. And Marine sees that finished 4th base. 70 workers for Protoss, 4 bases, 2nd forge on the way. MaxPax is really good, man. Okay, so he's going to go 10 gateways. MaxPax very rarely adds a 2nd Robo or a Templar Archives or anything like that early on. I think he's going to try and use this 4-base setup now to siege Clem. But Clem's actually gone 4 tanks. He's got a command center here. As long as he leaves the drop defense in the main, in this case the Pack of Marines and the Warp Prism, which and Medevac, sorry, really good for dealing with the Prism and Zealots, he should be able to hang on to this. Dark Shrine's halfway done now. I don't know if I really care for the late Dark Shrine. I mean, obviously you can use it to make Blink DTs to snipe planetaries when the 4th goes down, but before that moment, it's not the most effective. Very expensive tech as well. Here we go. Warp Prism finally goes in. Clem, as always, was waiting for it. And, oh, he kind of moves into melee. Loses a few Marines very early. Uncharacteristic for Clem to move in that deep. A few of his units get shaved off by the Colossus. Zealots jumping on top of the tanks here. Uh-oh, Clem not guarding his tanks. This was really messy. This was really messy by Clem. Those Marines were poorly positioned in the main base. And that's what I'm most critical of here, guys. Maybe he was worried about the Prism coming into the natural. A different angle. But I think his Marines were just a bit too far away to get on top of it early. If he got straight in the mineral line, blocked with some SCVs, easy defense. Instead, he had to, you know, move around, get distracted a bit. Units lost tab pretty even. Yeah, a lot of Zealots went down. You've lost some SCVs. You've lost yourself 3 tanks this game. Which, by the way, he's still building tanks. Building tanks non-stop. Very few players do this. Spirit and TY back in the day. 2 of the players who do this. It's good for not dying. It's very bad for attacking. It's not really Clem's style, but we'll see what he can make of it. Ghost Marauder up front. The Zealot's getting EMP'd. Another Prism goes into the main and immediately dies. There is a Dark Templar there, though. He's going to scan and take care of that. The +1 armor. Actually, oh, the combat shields, of course, is what allows you to survive that first Dark Templar hit. Another siege tank does go down, but so many Zealots falling. And you can see the swing in the resources. 2,700 now in favor of Clem. And not just that, because he's killed that army, it secures the 4th. It allows him to just say, you can't fight me right now. I can just throw this fourth down, get a planetary, and I'm way ahead. MaxPax is on 87 workers. He can afford a few trades like that, but not too many long-term. Now, don't get me wrong. When the Terran's totaling like this, there is a style you can do. You can go Storm, 90 workers, maybe even 95. Go for Storm, get a lot of High Templar, spread them across the middle, and try to get cannons forward. On this map, it's really hard because this is low ground, but you could do it here. And if you can get cannons out here and batteries with Tempests and High Templar spread, you can basically just siege the Terran down. The point is, though, you need to control somewhere in the middle. Maybe here is a good area so that you can quickly branch off to defend the flanks. Otherwise, the Terran will just run bio around the edges, start sniping bases, and give you a very hard time. Warp Prism movement speed upgrade is on the way. No doubt Observer speed might come in later as well. 3 Zealots, 1 Dark Templar in the Warp Prism ready to go into that main. Still no turrets on the edge of the main, which I do find a little concerning. Ooh, that's a juicy Command Center snipe. Worth losing a Stalker or two for that. The Command Center goes down. They try and chase a little bit. Bio Viking Medevac's got to be careful. Same time, Prism goes in the main base. Dude, Clem's leaving himself open pants down in this game. I'm so shocked. There's no reason for him to be pants down, but he keeps on getting caught here. Another tank goes down. I mean, he's been building tanks all game, but he hasn't been protecting them. Tanks get taken out on the left by these Zealots as well. The Bio Viking goes trying to defend. This is a perfect timing for MaxPax, and he's catching a Clem who is just never shutting the Prism down. He sent half of his army into the main. The Colossus doing really well zoning in the middle while the Zealots take out that left side. And this is very expensive for Clem at a moment where he should have just been shutting down MaxPax. Now, of course, that army is maybe a bit too deep. Oh my gosh! Oh no, the arc of Terran coming from both bases at once. Oh me, oh my. MaxPax with the overcommitment. He does have double robo. He's going to try to rebuild those, as well as use his 11 gate to get back up an army. But my golly, the tail end of that fight was awful for Protoss. Without a forward gateway or Prism to warp in, I mean, he just should not have moved in that deep, and especially moving right in the middle where the bio could naturally form a concave from these two ramps. Huge misstep. New Command Center on number 5 is going to come in. 8 racks is up, second starport building. I don't think he has a fusion core just yet. No fusion core just yet, but 3-3 started for Terran, which means, yeah, sure, +3 is going to finish sooner for Protoss, but +2 armor is actually behind the +3 armor of Terran. I would say this is pretty much even in the upgrades. No big differences either way. And that's going to balance out, which is something which... Balanced upgrades, good for Terran. Terran feels better in the late game, happy to take their time, more commands in his building. That's a choice. He's going to expand there. Okay. So he's going to just try and defend this angle, maybe build a planetary here potentially at some point, and then expand his army down, take that one as the base number 6. Prism goes into the main. Turrets are not ready just yet. MaxPax very happy to find that. Big Zealot warp in as well. You can see these Ghost is going to die very quickly. So many Zealots in this main base. EMP would be lovely there. Let's get an EMP on a few of the Zealots. More going into the natural at the same time. Big army on the right side. He's got Storm now. If you can get these High Templar forward, there's not much EMP in this army. I think pushing in here might actually be the way. Because if he can land some big storms while Clem's distracted, that would be huge. The Prism does get out with just 1 Zealot still inside. High Templar comes forward. Tickles the army. Doesn't really achieve anything. Extra Colossus does come out. It's 3 Colossus. +3 armor, +1 plasma shields now kicking in. Or starting up, I should say. Ooh, good tank shot. Good EMP. Tank's going to go down. That is one of the last tanks. There's only 1 tank left. 27 Marauders, 8 goes. Great Storm. Tank sieging up in the Storm is definitely a decision that was made here. Yeah, again, the Prism gets in the main. How is he never ready for this? Oh, my lord. I mean, I was interviewing Clem over there in Canada, and I was saying, you know, I noticed you always leave 8 Marines in your main. Is this the trauma of MaxPax always ruining you with Warp Prisms? And he was like, yeah, I have nightmares about Warp Prisms and Zealots in my main base. And I was saying, well, you know you're so predictable at leaving those 8 Marines in the main every game with the medevac. Can't Protoss just like hallucinate a Warp Prism and never actually go in, and you just have 10 supply in your main for no reason every game? And like, that's actually the counterplay, right? And he said, yeah, honestly, Protoss players could do this for like a dozen games. I still would probably leave 10 Marines in my main. He's like, I'm happy to be down 10 army supply as long as there isn't a Prism in my main base distracting me. So I feel like that's definitely usually something he does well, but this game he's screwing it up, man. Command Center goes down. Great Storm will kill that Siege Tank. Ghost snipes a High Templar. Well played. Big army. It's a little clump, though. Does he have the answer for the Vikings? Uh-oh. Oh, good spread of the High Templar. Beautiful spread of the High Templar. I love those backup High Templar allowing him to escape. MaxPax really good at this kind of push and poke, but he never really, or very rarely, keeps reserve High Templar scattered around. And if he scanned there, he would have got that snipe. That was cool, moving those ghosts forward like that. Oh no! I don't think he was expecting Clem to come so far out here. MaxPax, he's got to be careful, mate. He's going to jump on it, though. Ooh, one Colossus is down. Second and third heavily damaged. These High Templar are there in reserve. Prism enters the main base. He's going to do it again. Another big Zealot warp. And Clem's like, geez, can you leave me alone, bro? Another Colossus bites the dust, but there's still 2 left standing. He's been replenishing them incredibly quickly. 6,000 resource lost advantage in favor of Clem. The Zealots in the main base are there. The Ghost, the Marines, and the Lib trying to defend. Will it be enough? Army on the front for MaxPax, poking in and out. Oh, he's on move command! He move commanded forward, loses the last of his Colossus. He lands some great Psy Storms, but he's got to get that main army out of there. These Zealots up here are going to kill a starport, which is massive. Did he just kill both starports? There are no starports remaining on the map. He just killed both starports. Clem failed to lift. Clem failed to lift. He's got to rebuild Colossus right now. He's making 3 Colossus, realizing, dude, if he had Colossus right now, this would be game-ending maybe. There's no starport production. There's 6 medevacs. There is going to be the medevac energy upgrade is about to kick in. It's such a necessary upgrade for Clem right now. He's trying to build more command centers, but this is really a scary moment. His army is so wounded. He's getting worn down. MaxPax is keeping him stimming for days, and he's now trying to rebuild a starport. He needs to build more. And the Prism is back in the main. How are you not ready for this? Because just too much chaos. At this point, when is Clem going to get ready for it? The reactor's even getting focused. The Zealots are back in the main base again. MaxPax Warp Prism is so effective. And it's why you have to overcommit to shut this thing down, man. You absolutely have to. DT warps in as well. High Templar landing another Storm. Not to mention every stim. He can't heal himself. So many units taking damage from that stim. Dark Templar up in the production. Can he get a Ghost? Oh, nice Ghost kill. That Dark Templar doing pretty good damage. Gets a Marauder as well. Almost gets another Ghost scan. Does get forced out. Command Center is trying to erect into a planetary. MaxPax is going to counter this by building cannons next. So we're going to have a cannon versus planetary battle in the bottom right side of the map. Dude, this really is a fantastic finals here. Clem did dominate game 1 after getting a little ahead. But this time, I thought MaxPax was going to fall behind after that army went down. But he's rebuilt really quickly. He had good map control. Good economy. A huge economy, we should be saying. And he's just shoving in now, realizing, look, I got to get you before you get mass command center. There's all these orbitals in the bottom right that have just morphed. He cannot let those pay off. Storms coming in. The Colossus, the Stalkers, massive storms. Storms everywhere. Another storm here would be huge. He walks through the storms and feedbacks. The army gets turned to mincemeat, but it punches the Protoss army to dust in the process. That was a crazy engagement. Clem does kick MaxPax off of his porch, but look at how quick the Remax is. MaxPax is zerging him right now. Planetary down here got killed by the Zealots and the Cannons guys. There are Nexi in both corners mining. He's back to 32 Zealots, 1 Colossus, 2 Warp Prisms, 1 to go in the main, 1 to help the army. Colossus coming out, +3 or +2 Plasma Shields. This is sick. Oh, nice Storm. Zealots coming in. Yeah, 100%. The Warp Prisms have to pay rent. They are sharing an apartment with Clem right now. This is the Warp Prisms base. MaxPax has to pay weekly rent on that. He's been spending more time in there with that Warp Prism building Zealots than there have been Marines popping out. Viking Ghost coming forward. Clem is way down in supply. Yeah, he doesn't have any Storm, but it still might be an A move for these Zealots, honestly. It's a big ball of Ghosts. The Vikings dealing with the Colossus really well. But I think you can take even the sloppiest of trades right now, and you're happy about it as MaxPax, because you can trade all day, and he cannot. 17 gateways, 10 Zealots, or at least a bunch of Zealots and 2 DTs warping into the main base. The production getting ransacked. Still a little ball of units. If they can hit this base while Clem is distracted, that could be big. Clem somehow has the gold base up. I don't think MaxPax knows about that. Oh, he does, and he's got Zealots finding it now. That's huge. That's huge. He's going to save a few Zealots. He's got 2 Prisms in the main base, like the Chad that he is. Zealots have denied the gold. Yes, there's a planetary in the bottom right, but of course, Clem just cannot max out anymore. And I really think that double starport snipe earlier was instrumental. If it wasn't for that, I can imagine a story where Clem gets a few more medevacs up, gets a few more libs or Vikings, stabilizes, but having to rebuild those starports from scratch is such a big delay on your healing, your anti-air, and it's just a big distraction realizing, you go, oh god, and you panic a little bit because you just don't have all the production you want. 9,000 resources lost in favor of Clem. I think you need more efficiency than that with the economy Protoss has in this game. It's been 95 probes for a while. Those EMPs are absolutely savage. Clem still has a similar army supply, as you can see, but the Zealots keep finding openings. He's once again in the main base. There's no add-ons. You can only build on the barracks that are out of the main base now. Colossus clear this mineral line. Excellent play there for Max. And Clem right now is like a headless chicken. He's running around wondering. He's trying to pick up his own head and attach it back. Oh, good storm. Lub seems to keep coming in here with a Colossus or a High Templar and storm these guys. Dude, if Clem manages to max back out, that's actually insane. He really shouldn't be able to. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus coming in. There's Libs, there's Ghosts. And you see how many bases there are for Clem, and there's got to be a part of MaxPax that wonders, is he actually holding? Is he going to max out? You know you've got to have urgency. The Libs are going to go down. 2 of them die before they can re-siege. High Templar does get EMP'd. I think blink to the right and focus the Lib. Yeah, almost gets it, not quite. Zealots are in the main base. Ghost Academy's about to burn down. The Protoss is most efficient in this scenario, just tearing down buildings while the main army distracts. Every time Clem pulls his whole army to the front, he finds himself in trouble. Cloak is used on that single Ghost to stop it getting sniped, but look at that. 4 SCVs and an orbital sniped. He's like, I have lib range and +3. And of course, MaxPax just refuses to fight into those areas. Stalkers come forward, find themselves 1 lib kill. This is going to force MaxPax to go the long way around to get out of here. But of course, yeah, another Zealot Warfare in the main. You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Oh my lord. Clem is going to be so tilted. He's going to be miserable after this game, man. How many times can a Warp Prism get in the main base of the Terran without getting punished? Oh my god, and now there's a Dark Templar just yeeting units off. That Marine just got sliced in half, bro. Oh my gosh, that is insane. The Dark Templar finally gets scanned and blasted to oblivion. I don't know how many Zealots have died this game. Oh, I think we'll do a guessing game at the very end of the game, okay, guys? So I'm not going to show it until the very end. We can do a guessing game. I have a pretty good idea. I think I'm pretty close. Ooh, a lot of Zealots go down. Dude, is Clem maxing out? I told you guys MaxPax doesn't have good late game. But this Prism is still there. I mean, he's been wearing him down. He's not harassing this mineral line, which is a big misstep. That's a huge amount of value to be gained from there. Maybe he could have rotated and sniped this planetary at some point. He is going to try to go Stargates now. I think Carriers is probably the easiest way to win because Clem is so poor. I don't think he can afford the answer to Carriers. But we'll see how it goes. Oh, the Libs go forward into the Stalkers. The Storm and the Stalkers ruin the Libs, man. Oh, he's got to pull out, though. Dude, good Storms. If he dropped one more a little bit later, could have killed the rest of those Libs. Sorry, guys, my computer seems to be lagging. Not quite sure what's going on there. All right, guys, sorry, we just had a little bit of lag there. Hopefully we didn't miss too much. The Bio Ghost moving in here to chase these Zealots down. And Nexus in the bottom right going down is kind of a pain. This is a good move. Great move for MaxPax. But if he could blink on that, that would be huge. Those Libs, very valuable targets. MaxPax has a lot of minerals. He doesn't have that much gas. He's got to make sure he puts on these gases. These extra gases, a few of them he started mining, but not all of them just yet. And this base is huge. If Clem can defend this and secure this, that's crazy. I mean, MaxPax needs to keep hitting the left. He needs to keep sending DTs and Zealots in the natural. He just needs to run them down the left. He doesn't even need to warp in the main. And then this main army just needs to, like, rotate around, break those rocks, rotate to the left, rotate to the right. Comes in a bit clumped up. Still on a very basic army. He's making Tempests. If he's going to make Tempests, you want cannon battery here. And what I talked about earlier, and you want to have like 12 High Templars spread across the map. Oh, he cloaks his ghosts, runs in. I think he killed the Observer with the scan. Runs in, he just killed killed the High Templar. Oh, now he's chasing MaxPax down. MaxPax needs to run. MaxPax cannot stand and fight here. He needs to run. He's trying to stand and fight. He's got 17 gateways of reinforce. If he does an energy recharge on High Templar, that could be good. The Zealots are counterattacking and doing great damage. He should be able to fight this off if he can get a good storm. One good storm in the middle of that could change everything, but he does it all in vision. He does energy recharge. Can he land that storm we were talking about? No, EMP takes him down, as does the snipe. Dude, Clem, he's in the heart of the Stargates now. There's not enough backup High Templar or anything like that. There is going to be a good flank coming in, though. High Templar with a storm from that side does storm a few of these Marauders. MaxPax taps. Ow, you are kidding me. No way Clem weathered the storm. Oh, he never got this base up. And his minerals are running out. He's built cannons everywhere, but he didn't really need them. He's actually out of minerals? Dude. I don't think he should have gone Tempests. I actually don't think Tempests fits MaxPax playstyle at all. Like I said, MaxPax is not a good endgame player. I've already seen this from a lot of other top Protoss players who do have good Tempest Storm control, and they also are not entrenching the middle of the map. This is a similar scenario Zergs dealt with for a long time, around 2021 to 2023. I don't know if any of you guys remember how bad Zergs were at dealing with Turtle Terrans during that time. They weren't used to this 12, 13, 14 command centers. In this case, it's only 6 orbitals. Clem never really got to the super late game. He never had the Iron Bank, but it's this level of like Terran that just grows and grows and grows, and it's a supremely awesome late game army. And, you know, there's things like, hey, you got to take the corners and mine those out early, because every mineral you take off those bases is really big, because it's minerals removed from what they're going to be able to steal off you later on. And there's also these like really finicky, methodical things like I need spores outside and then brood lords, and I need infestors spread out so they don't all get EMP'd, because if you ever don't have an infestor and Viper available, the Terran can just shove on top of you with Ghost Lib and ruin your day, which is very similar here to what you need to do with Tempest Storm. It's a lot like having, you know, Tempest Storm, cannon battery stuff. It's a very, very finicky composition. And when you go to Tempest, because Tempests aren't very good direct combat units, you need to be very wary of your worker count. So 90 workers, I think, is too many when you go to Tempest. Once you start building Tempest, it's kind of like building Swarm Host or something. Even 70 workers feels a little dangerous when you've got Tempest coming up, but it's 90 workers is just too many for this stage, unless you have a billion cannons and batteries everywhere. So the Tempests, they just don't do much damage very quickly. And yeah, they're one of these things where I think he should have been lowering his worker count a little bit at this stage. You can argue he should have pulled these guys off, put them onto gas or elsewhere. I think he's been pretty good at transferring his probes. Yeah, he's actually, these guys, because he lost the bottom right, he's had to pull all these workers back. This base wasn't up. He did actually have a big drop in his mineral income after losing this bottom right side base as well, which is really big. But yeah, I think he needed a few more High Templar scattered about. I would have liked to see him keep up the tempo with like mass Zealot attacking this side, and maybe even mix in Stalkers with it. Because sometimes, right, you'll run in with 10 Zealots and a DT, but then they just get a few Marauders behind the choke point, and your Zealots can't get through. Or, you know, like your guys are trying to attack, and they try to attack between the building, and your Zealots are all stuck behind each other. If you just have like 5 or 6 Stalkers with a big Zealot run by, you can just focus those Marauders down and kind of open up the avenue for your Zealots and DTs and the A-movie units to just get on top. So I would have liked to see a bit more Zealot DT counterattack focus. I think he was wearing Clem down really well with that. I think earlier he should have been denying these minerals a lot more frequently. I think Clem being able to mine these gold minerals while he was getting mauled over here and over here, but the fact that his right side was largely untouched was really big. You could argue maybe a High Templar should have waddled in here and stormed this mineral line, like just because anything to disrupt this right side would have been massive. But like I said, I think you got to lower the worker count here, and I think you should start building cannon battery out here to deny this base, and you should be looking to basically just fight here with Tempest into this base and have High Templar here, here, get a few observers out and all this sort of stuff. But we've got to pay Clem respect, because I want to show you guys what won in this game. He scans, gets rid of those observers, guys. That was 2 observers down. There's only 1 on the left side. And then he cloaks these ghosts, and look at this. So I already think he didn't have enough Storm for the Tempest stage. He should have had cannons, batteries, storms. Part of the reason why cannon battery is so good is because it provides detection, unlike observers, which use up supply. So it gives you damage, gives you healing, gives you detection, stops people from doing this move where, oh, we killed your observers, and now, bah, we run in with ghosts and there's nothing you can do about it. But he snipes these 2 High Templar, and that is huge, because now Clem goes, ooh, I can just go. You don't have any consistent splash damage except the Colossus, which against them, yeah, they're pretty good against the Ghosts. Against the Marauders, they're not going to do that much. And he just realized he can just jump forward, drop a few EMPs, and blast this entire army. And things snowball so quickly. GG, well played. That was awesome. All right, hopefully not too demotivated after I really thought he'd won that game. Bottom left, MaxPax. Clem in the top right. Incredible comeback. I mean, he should not have let that Warp Prism screw with him that bad. I don't know. There's part of me that just, I know it's kind of a dumb thing to say as a commentator. I don't really, like, there's part of me that's like, he didn't deserve to win that game because he messed up with the Prism so many times. On the other hand, holy crap, under that much pressure, not falling apart completely, he absolutely deserved to win that game. So Clem kind of put himself in the bad spot. He didn't need to end up there, and that I would be highly critical. I'd be like, if I was his coach, I'd be like, Clem, what are you doing? That Prism, you just let it go into your base 14 times in a row. Like, just leave the Marines there, man. Come on. On the other hand, dude, the fact that he kept his cool under pressure for that long, impressive. Big thank you, Simba, for the sub, by the way. Keep up the great work. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. How does Protoss best deal with Liberators? Exactly what I was just talking about, guys. You make Tempest, you make Psystorm, cannons and batteries. Early on, just move your army around and don't sit and fight in the lib zone. Same as with siege tanks, just move around. It's hard for the Protoss to have them facing the right direction all the time. But Storm has always been the nice late game addition for PvT because it hits air units. And that's always been the struggle, is like 10 libs come forward and just siege on you. You drop a Storm on them as you're retreating. Oof. So good against the Medivacs, the Vikings, the Libs, and the Bio. And that's why Storm's always been this like ridiculously good late game spell for PvT. And of course, a few years ago, I was kind of having a very constant battle with Protoss pros, where I was criticizing them a lot in casts, and people were getting very annoyed with me, the pros as well, telling me Storm was garbage and Ghost just EMP you. And I basically just was like, you guys are wrong. That's not how it works. And it was kind of like when people like said, you know, like people sometimes just get way too simplistic. They just like imagine how things work in their head. They're like, but Ghost just EMP High Templar. And I'm like, do you know how annoying it is as a Terran to like constantly see exactly where the High Templar are coming from every angle, to have enough scans, enough EMPs, to always be staring at your army? Part of going for the High Templar in the Storms, it's forcing the Terran to be much more careful and slow with their army movement. It's kind of like building a line of defenses that you don't expect to hold completely, but you expect it to massively slow down your opponent and ruin their mobility and their ability to, like, you know, basically achieve their goals on the battlefield. That's kind of what things like High Templar do. It's like, you know, you go infest a Viper at the top level, you don't just see the Protoss stack their air army into fungal parasitic bomb. But they have to really be afraid of that the whole time, and they have to maneuver their army in an entirely different way. And that's kind of how a lot of these tools work, right? With EMP being the exception, where it seems like most Protoss players just they kind of just take it on the chin because they're like, there's too many EMPs, you can't dodge these. These like 14 ghosts. The whole army's getting EMP'd either way. We're not spreading against that, man. We're just accepting that these Protoss units don't have shields. Oh, he saves the mule. Dude, that was a good adept, though. 2 Marines and an SCV. Fantastic adept harass. Clem does save the mule. Otherwise, he might have just GG'd right there. Maybe not GG'd, but he would have been kind of mentally broken. Oh, gonna go for the Reaper. Oh, Clem just stands. That's an odd choice, I'll say that. Going for the mule. He wanted the mule. MaxPax did. Good, pull away. But this is also, that's like 25 minerals gone, 25 minerals gone. You know, every missed mule trip is actually a lot of minerals you lose. It's like when you threaten checkmating chess, you don't just expect the opponent to miss it. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, you don't just like, oh man, well I keep trying to do this maneuver in chess, but then they just see it and it doesn't just instantly win the game, therefore it's worthless. And it's like, you know, strategic understanding is always just about having a complex enough understanding of, well, if I do this, it's good against that, but then you can do this thing to counter that. But then because you've done that, it puts you in this position, which I can then pivot to this other thing, which takes advantage of that. But then if you realize that, you can pivot to this third thing. And it's a dance, right? It's a dance of I make you do this, and then you do that to counter it, and then you try to take advantage of each other. Hellion does go down. Ooh, okay. Ah, good retarget. Clem's so good with his retarget. Gets himself a Stalker. Good pull with that probe. I like that probe pulling away there. Stalker and a probe. Minimal mining time lost. I think MaxPax is okay with this. That being said, Clem does save the medevac. It's always a bummer if you lose the medevac. Having that left over is amazing. Prism hanging out. How many gateways is this? Just 3. All 7 Stalkers coming to the front, though. He's going to go immediately for a drop in the main. Clem's very solid with his wall off here. Oh, that's why he drops right on the edge. MaxPax, he hasn't even seen the tank, but he knows who he's playing against. Oh, he's going to get the medevac. And notice, because tanks shoot so slowly, you could blink in and get 2 volleys off before the tank fires a second time. MaxPax so good at taking advantage of that. And then, he always waits for the second volley. I never wait for the second volley. I don't trust myself to pick up in time. I always get one volley off, get out. MaxPax always, as the second projectiles leave, he picks up it or blinks away. It's such good precision. All right, double bunkers should be able to hold with only 1 bunker loss, but it's a bit slow to pull to repair. Tank sieging up. Observer does see it. He's already used some blinks, so he couldn't blink on the tank. Oh, the Observer survives. Almost baits the Raven in. Now behind this third Nexus, Templar Archives, 2 more gateways, make it 3, so 6 gate Storm. Going to be the follow-up. MaxPax no doubt will get a Forge soon. +1 weapons has started for Terran. Stalker's over here, going to go for a drippy droppy. Clem will get vision in a moment as it enters. Tank will get a shot off. I like the pullback on the SCVs. No SCVs falling there. Ooh, these Stalkers think about going for it. Maybe while the barracks is lifted, you can run through. Storm starts up, a bunch more gateways, and the Forge goes down. Very conservative Forge, but I don't mind this for MaxPax. Now, one of the big problems, though, is, yeah, maybe you're thinking of attacking him. It's hard to ambush and wreck the Terran army with Storm Zealot the way Protoss players used to do it. Still pretty good for defending and surviving, but it's hard to just jump on their army, drop the Storms, rinse the entire army with a few Zealot attacks, finishing off the damaged units. Third Command Center started at I would say a decent time considering how much action there's been, but MaxPax clearly has the lead here on Ultra Love. I still can't believe he lost that last game. I thought that was all but in the bag. So that Terran army gets so big, and that gold, I think that gold base just did so much. I also think if MaxPax had barely got another Storm on those libs that sieged at the gold base and killed those 3 Liberators that were all stacked on top of each other, very different game. I imagine nobody would ever stand in Storm for more than 1.2 seconds, yet Clem seems to run back into every Storm twice. Yeah, AI very easy. I agree. It is funny. He's so kind of fast and finicky with his army. He's like, let me in, let me at him, let me at him. And he keeps kind of derping back into it for only like 5 damage each time. It's not that bad, but it is just kind of funny to see how overeager he is. Oh, Storm could be big. Oh, run, Clem. Good pullback on the SCV. Nice feedback on the Raven. Oh my gosh, this army. Is Stim not ready? Or he's just holding on with the Stim? Good patience, honestly, for Clem. And the tank count is actually really high. He's got 5 tanks. Get a tank there, maybe a tank over here. Or is he just going to take the other third? Oh, Zealots in the main again. The Marines should be stutter stepping behind the SCVs. He will win this fight. And then he's going to put those Marines on the edge to make sure the Prism can't come back in. There is a Viking and a Raven going after it as well. Colossus on the way. Dude, I love MaxPax setup. He's not overcommitting. He's delaying the third. He's picking off units, but he's not overcommitting. He's actually ahead in the units lost. Wow. What is this foul sorcery? Ahead in the units lost. Very rare. Tanks are sieging. Marine Marauder is there. Storm does come down. Tickles the units back. Doesn't feel like MaxPax really cares about committing here. He's got a second Forge on the way. 2 more gateways will bring him to 10. Tank line is very big. Oh, hello. Trying to come in for the Storms. The Buyer tank is so well spread. So well spread. Zealots on the left. Big push for MaxPax. Zealots on the left. Oh, that Zealot flank on the left is huge. And the Storm on the right. Holy, that was a good fight for Max. Yes, he lost a lot of important units. I think he killed almost all the tanks. That was huge. That was really huge. And look at that, more Zealots in the main base as well. He's not done yet. Stalkers are still annoying over on this left side. Zealots in the main base. The Marines are going to fight with the SCVs, and it looks like they will defend. The Prism gets over hit by the Viking. I thought that was a good fight for Max. Was I incorrect? I mean, units lost time still close to even. And a 5th base is I think that's fine for Max. I think this trading is good for MaxPax. I stand by this. The medevacs are out of juice. They're heavily damaged. And now he's like, oh gosh, I need Vikings for the Colossus. I also need Medivacs to heal my bio. How many tanks has he got? Just 2. I think he's not as focused on building tanks from this point. I think they're more for defending the earlier timings. Oh, I forgot to do the Zealot lost count. Sorry, guys. I got so surprised by that, and no one reminded me at the end of the last game. I would have guessed about, like, 180? Maybe 180? What would you guys have guessed? We can go check after this game if you guys remind me. Or after the whole series, maybe. I'm sorry. Bad streamer forgets to check. At first, I was thinking 160, but then the game kept going for a little bit. So, yeah, maybe 180, 185. A lot of Zealots. Two twos on the way. Those are the scary upgrades. If Terran can stabilize. I also love that he's building a little wall off here. Tank's really important to help him defend because he's only got 2 Vikings. Doesn't have a good answer to the Colossus. Doesn't see this army either. He moves some Marines out. He moves the command center out. He doesn't know. Oh no. Clem doesn't realize this army's right here. He has a sense of seeing what's on the map. He probably imagines the army's here, but it's right outside his sensor tower. He doesn't realize that he's right there. Oh, he's going to get jumped on. It's a surprise. Here we go. He's got to try to scramble together a defense. He does have a good arc of units, but it's just not that much bio, is it? It's really not that much bio. Oh my gosh, the EMPs are decent. The Vikings take out a Colossus, but the tanks have been cleared. And that was a great attack from MaxPax. Just not checking this bit of high ground where the army was hiding. EMP lands on the Observer and a High Templar. Not bad. Small Storm where that came from. That High Templar also cops an EMP on the chin. Still can't believe MaxPax lost that game. What the hell, man? I don't think he's losing this one, guys. Yeah, he's going to push it. He's still got Storms in the back. There's no EMP left. Good Storm. Oh, get some Zealots in this base. If he gets Zealots in this base... Oh, wait, the Planetary's up, though. The Planetary's up. He's got to get away from that Planetary. Another Storm does come in. He's got Zealots up there, but the bunker is dealing with them. Is he pushing in a bit too deep right now? It's hard to say. Does land a beautiful Storm on the ramp. Clem walks through it like the mad lad that he is. He's still got 2 Colossus on the front, does MaxPax. They are doing far too much damage as his 7th base comes, or 6th base, sorry, on the left side of the map. Archon Stalker marauding their way forwards. The tank goes down, and of course the Colossus having a party, focusing those SCVs. 2-2 finishes for Terran, but there's no army left to use it. Such is life. The Marine Marauder does go down. Clem has to tap out. All right, he's got a point on the board, fighting back. The series could be 2-1 in his favor. But now he has to go into ley lines. A medium-sized map, balance between the sides. Team Liquid's Clem in the bottom left. Psystorm Gaming, of course, being represented by MaxPax. Okay, we've already done a MaxPax build. Are there any other tricks? I mean, we haven't seen a 3-gate, right? The odd proxy a gateway. Build a 3rd gateway at home, delay attack, and just go for a push. Those builds can be very effective. Just gotta hide that. Hide what you're doing. Run in and kill a ton of units sometimes. It's also pretty good if the Terran's playing crazy aggressive because you've got such early 3-gate production you can defend just about any attack. Gate Scout's pretty standard for MaxPax. He doesn't vary this up too much. Now for Clem, he's gone double gas. Okay. He's going to go for quick attack. I do wonder if he says, look, I'm up a game. Quick tank push, you know, boost in, get a tank siege there or over here. And often there's what? A 2nd gate, a robo, sometimes a 3rd gate in the wall. And if you clear those, it's usually just game winning. Because you're killing the Protoss production without having to go beyond the choke point. That just works out really well with the tank push. Often you'd open with like 3 Reaper 2 Hellion or something first, though, just to keep your opponent on the toes. Factory should go down by a minute 40. Yeah, minute 40. Okay, not too bad. It was close to a minute 41, but that's fine. 2nd gas right on 148. Of course, he had to go the 2nd pylon first, so that the moment the Cyber Core is done, you can start an Adept. Whereas you flip the 2nd gas and pylon if you tend to go for the Nexus before Cyber Core. This is MaxPax's preferred way of doing things, though. Get the Adept over there, see what's happening, and make sure your opponent's not cutting any corners. It is just single Reaper into Reactor. Interesting. Clem's first scout, making his way across the map, and wisely Clem builds that command center on the high ground. Far too risky to put that on the low ground. Adept gets it off. We want to run. Run, 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 run. I'm just going to have to go inject some drugs. Oh my gosh. I would never have even ran in that direction. I wanted to spot where that Adept went. It is a Stargate and a shield battery. Hello. Oh my gosh, he hangs around. So dangerous. Okay, that's super dangerous. He's going to build more Reapers and a Hellion. If MaxPax goes Oracle, it shuts this down. Oracle is the hard counter to this opening Clem's doing. I don't know if MaxPax ever uses Oracle. I love the Oracle opening. All right, we'll see which way he goes. Probe's going to pull back. Please go Oracle. It's a Phoenix. You could see when he set the rally point back, even before he had the money, it was going to be Phoenix because he's trying to hide it. Oh, Adept's going to get caught. Two Hellion, 3 Reaper. Oh, losing this Adept is really bad. He hits the Hellion. He's got to wall off. You have to wall off right now. There is no choice. Cancel probes and wall off your base. You cannot let this in. Okay, didn't have to cancel probes to do it. Gets it in time. Stalker, Adept, and Phoenix are in main. Good response from MaxPax. Really good. He's fine. Hi, I'm new. Is this from 2024 or 2025? This is from about a week and a half ago, I believe, this game. Oh, all right, 1 Reaper down. Can he get a second? Oh, doesn't quite get that shot off. But I think this is fine, as long as he re-walls. Could get that focus down. That pylon will fall. But he's got the Adept and the Stalker there. He's got 2 Phoenix behind. And he should be okay now. Now, the Phoenix have not been revealed, right, guys? I think he did a good job in not showing the Phoenix. Unfortunately, he was panicked, so he gets supply blocked. Oh, this is a big supply block, this is. He's trying to play Phoenix Colossus. You want to have a smooth opening because your third's already delayed. And now it's a tank push. It is the tank push I was talking about earlier. Okay, he's going to go for the tank push. And you've got, oh my god, 2 of your 3 gateways are exposed. Phoenix come out and they find themselves a Reaper, but that's all they find. And now they see the push. I mean, I think you have to warp in units and fight. You have to pull the probes and go. Problem is, Clem doesn't even commit. He's warped in 3 Zealots, not Adepts. Twilight Council does go down because he realized he doesn't have time to get Colossus. I guess you could play Phoenix Charge, Storm. That's maybe why he's gone to 4 gases. Okay, Viking, more Marines. This looks incredibly aggressive. Gotta pull away for now. Gotta try and, I think, loop back with the Phoenix, get control outside of his base, and spy where this push is coming from. He also needs to just non-stop warp in gateway units. Clem is still committed, right? I think Clem is still committing, isn't he? Is Clem not? He's building an E-base, building a 2nd and 3rd barracks. I still think this is going to push, is it not? That's a lot of units this early. But Clem's afraid to push into Phoenix. Because he knows if he commits and he doesn't quite have enough to win the fight, he will lose everything on the chase home. Okay, this is good for MaxPax because this gives MaxPax time. His 3rd is very late, so I mean, there's an argument that's not that good. But he's got Charge +1, Templar Archives, all the tech on 2 base. And now he starts that 3rd. Very late 3rd, 5 minutes 40. But he's going to have Storm, Phoenix for air control, Zealots with +1 on the ground will be very useful as well. Extra gateway coming in. 4 gateways. Does Clem still commit with the stim shields push a bit later? Because it's just having so many tanks. It's tempting, man. Viking Marine in the main, ready to defend. Hellion Reaper's still poking around, trying to get a feel for what's going on. Oh, good scout. Seeing the High Templar is really good. Actually runs in here, gets himself a probe. The other one gets healed by the shield battery. Zealot's trying to warp in to defend. Oh, look at this stack! I can't believe this. He just walks into the base with 2 Hellions and a Reaper. You're kidding me. And he gets 9, 10. Turns out 2 Stalkers, a Sentry, and 4 Slow Zealots is not the best defensive army when the Phoenix aren't there. Oh no. He was already on a delayed 3rd. Losing 10 probes is tragic. A Phoenix goes down as well. Oh, man, that's so frustrating. Because like, if his units were just a bit more to the right, or he blocked it with a Stalker Warping, he's fine. But that's such a crazy number of workers to lose it at past 6 minutes to 2 Hellions and a Reaper. I mean, that's... Clem was like, oh, I don't care about these units. Let's just scout what he's doing. And he gets a bloody mega valued bargain bin discount right there. Phoenix interrupt the guy building the SCV building the depot. Phoenix now outnumbered by Vikings, which means the Vikings can hunt those down. And nice volleys there. Oh, big storm push. Big storm push. Stim is ready, but notice he doesn't panic Stim. I love how patient Clem is now. They're just spreading and falling back and not panicking. Wow. Do we have a battle report, by the way? Probably not. Don't think it was hosted on that mod. How many gateways? There's 7 gateways, 8th on the way. Robo coming in as well. 4 Vikings rotating around south. Okay, MaxPax has room to breathe. Clem's waiting for Ghost Academy. 5 barracks. He's chilling for now. But he's definitely playing from behind his MaxPax as he lets a Marine walk right past his Zealot run by. Probably don't want to run these in. Army down here, very small. It's a handful of units. Storm the Vikings, maybe? These Zealots running in on the left. They're going to deny one of these. The Zealot did clear up the Marine up there as well. Storm! Decent. Gotta pull out though. Oh, actually chasing. Clem's a mad lad. Clem eats the storms unnecessarily. But he does get 2 High Templar. He might be willing to take that trade. A bit sloppy, though, and very unnecessary for him to chase through all that Psy Storm. That barracks never got continued building that. Now it has been. Good to see Clem fixing the little details. No doubt aware of the threat of Prism Zealot into the main later, as that's been such a problem for him in this series. Second Robo and Robo Bay. Robo Bay in the most sniperable position imaginable, though I guess with his 5th base in front, pretty rare that a drop will get past there anymore. The rest of this game. I always feel like if you build important tech in this sort of area, it's like, hello, would you like to snipe it? Same like build it here. You're like, hey, I just want to give you my Templar archives or something. Armory, second eBay coming up. So Clem's going to start 2-2. He's behind on upgrades. I think MaxPax supply looks okay. 76 workers. He has so much economy. And the 4th command center is only about halfway built. So I think Max has done a good job of recovering. It's only down 700 in the units lost. The 4 Viking squad is hunting for him. Stalker sentry pushes him away. Ghost count starts to grow. Got the gateway down here. I love gateways there. I'd like a gateway up here in the top left as well. It's one of the things that players do not do enough in this matchup. What is this? Sending like 10 Marines and a medevac in? Hoping to catch an undefended base. Maybe looking for gateways on the map as well. Oh, wow. Good job mowing the lawn a little bit. Just cleaning things up. Trying to get some trash out. He does find it. Zealot High Templar is going to try to jump on top. Stalker's coming from that left side. Does get himself a Liberator for a Stalker or so. Not bad. Oh, and all those Marines. And keeps the gateway alive. Wow, nice little trades for Max, dude. MaxPax. Double Colossus coming out. No Viagra just yet. Definitely needs to start that. He's a rich boy, so it's purely just him forgetting to get that. I think MaxPax might feel a little uncomfortable because he was behind early. He knows that Clem's got more time to establish a 4th than normal, which means you're going to a later stage of the game than you're comfortable with. On this map, Storm Tempest can be excellent as well. You want to get Cannon Battery out here and Tempest there. Even though it's the low ground, you can deny all these middle bases if you get Cannon Battery out in the middle, and can allow you to get a lot of expansions of your own whilst slowly teasing out that victory. It's this weird thing though, where just like I said, no Protoss player really rushes there, and he does it. He does it. Oh my god, I've been wanting a Protoss player, because most Protoss players basically they try to kill the Terran 4 times with like Colossus, Zealot, Stalker. They lose all the armies, their whole advantage disappears, they're way behind, and then they go Tempests, and then they die. And I'm kind of like, what if you actually use the point before you're maxed out? I mean, he's obviously still behind in this game. Clem's almost maxed already. But if you go there a little bit earlier and you're willing to actually go to that point in the game, hoping to get there, optimizing it, thinking about the details. Big thing that happens in StarCraft, if people say this part of the game isn't good for me or I don't feel confident there, Therefore, they ignore it and they avoid it at all costs, which means they don't get any better at it. And that's one of those things is I really want to see how it interacts with expert play with the new High Templar Storm and the Tempests and the Cannon Battery Siege, because I do think it's a very good way to wear down a Terran who's turtling the way Clem is. And look at Clem. He's building the Olympic rings on the minimap. He's got 3 sensor towers. He's just building 10 command centers right now. There is a massive window in PvT right now where the top Terrans are just chilling in their base. You have time to build Cannon Battery Tempest outside their base, but MaxPax is going to go for carriers. With +3 armor already on the way, this is a disastrous decision. It could work, potentially, but I would say I wouldn't want to do this until my +2 is almost finished. Because if you're down on attack upgrades against armor upgrades, I feel like even just Marines are going to be hard to fight. Then again, there's not that many Marines. Only 19 and 6 Ghosts, right? It's mostly Vikings and the like. Could work out. He just needs to keep chronoing and get to +2 as fast as possible. He also needs to throw his Phoenix away. Those are dead weight. It's a very big economy. When played perfectly, carriers are not meant to be as good. The Tempest's higher skill level to execute, whereas the carriers are much easier to execute as the Protoss player. But from the Terran side, I'd say as long as you can play really, really good, clean, perfect micro, you don't get completely blindsided by the carriers. The carriers is something where a guy like Clem would say, I should beat that every time. I think he'd be like, they're bad. They're only good if I make this mistake and this mistake. You know, he'd be like, I don't think he'd have a huge respect for the carrier play. But it's not surprising to me because MaxPax has always been a late game player who prefers to just shove a big army around. Carriers are better for that. Whereas the technical kind of Tempest Cannon Battery Siege it's a very specific skill set to play that style, and he's never played that style, so don't really expect it from him. He had played some of the giant maps when he was at the top level, back on King's Cove, and some of these other maps that just almost always went to that ultra late game. He might have practiced it a bit more, but MaxPax practiced even in the Void Ray meta. He didn't really practice late game. He always tried to win with Carrier Archon against Zerg. He didn't really play the super perfect late game styles that the guys like maybe a Showtime or a Stats would try to perfect. Carriers are going to show themselves. He doesn't have +2 yet, but +3 armor's not done, so it's only a 1 upgrade deficit. And the Interceptors are very cheap units, but I love the way Clem pulls back here. He's a bit overstimmed. The Interceptor count, though, getting a little bit low, and now you got to pull back. Use that Storm to cover your retreat as you rebuild those Interceptors. +2 is being chronoed a bit. It's about halfway done. Plasma Shield's coming in as well. +2 ground armor's only now coming in. A bit late. Clem taking this middle base. He's got 9 Vikings, 6 Ghosts, 15 Marines. Trying to build turrets to reinforce the position. No doubt he'll make building armor and high-sec auto tracking when he gets a chance to. Turrets going down. Carriers looking for these engagements where they can trade positively. Vikings are very damaged. Surprised Clem isn't repairing those. Yeah, he goes into the mineral line. There we go. So he's going to try and defend with the Vikings while also repairing them on the front line. Got 6 High Templar. They're a bit clumped right now. He's got to be careful of these Ghosts. Oh, big High Templar. Just hit 2, EMP, sorry. Just hit 2 or 3 of the High Templar. Carrier's trying to fight over here. The Viking Marine Ghost is really doing a, I'm not going to fight you front on. I'm just going to kill Interceptors. And you can already see, guys, 48 Interceptors have gone down. They're only 15 minerals each. That starts to add up. Like, it's about 500 minerals have gone down. It's going to keep, you know, going to keep going and going and going. Clem is going to keep dancing. Staying at arm's reach. He doesn't feel confident jumping on top of this army just yet. But that could change very quickly. That High Templar that went forward did not have Storm Energy. That one does, though. MaxPax, 7 carriers are out. He's not building any more. Does he pivot back into ground off of this? Or does he just say this is... Yeah. Yeah, he's building more gateways, so he's thinking about it. He's thinking, look, if I get you to make like 30 Vikings, I might be able to swap back into ground and win by just having a much bigger army. It's a clever idea. See if he can catch Clem off guard. Clem's ghost count is ridiculous. 16 ghosts. Carrier's trying to pick off some turrets. His bio attack up north is not bad. High Templar does go down. Probes being pulled to fight is certainly a decision. I think MaxPax wants to clear the supply so we can warp in to defend the base. Does lose a bunch of units on the front as well. Decent zoning storm. He just can't fight through here, man. The tank's planetary turret combo with the Vikings overhead is just too strong. Zealots are trying to warp in. Looks like he will finally get rid of this Marauder drop, but of course Clem picks up and goes even deeper. These Marauders denied this Nexus in the middle as well. He's still trying to attack the front. He's only got 25 Interceptors. The Storms are killing his own Interceptors. MaxPax needs to back off. He's got to be careful. He's building a few Tempests right now. He does have a carrier in the main, which will eventually deal with these Marauders, but he's got to be careful about getting jumped on. Dude, the EMPs are insane. Clem has map packs right now, guys. He's got 7 orbitals. He keeps scanning, so he sees everything. These Marauders still denying the mining there as well. MaxPax doesn't have a big bank. Clem is being a nuisance right now. The units lost tab 8,000 in favor of Clem, who's at 16 Vikings, 17 Ghosts, +3 ship weapons on the way. But not just that, he added a second armory this game to counter the carriers. He's already got +1 vehicle plating. He's got the second upgrade on the way, which means he's actually going to overtake MaxPax in air upgrades, even though MaxPax air swap was a surprise. That really tells you how well prepared Clem is in these games as that Marauder gets sliced in half. Stalkers in the middle, a couple of those go down. Zealots coming in on the left side. Three Vikings, let's go. 7 carriers need to get out. Stalkers need to blink forward. Bit slow on the Stalker movement there. I think Clem's doing such a good job of bullying MaxPax back now. It's really tough for him to deal with. And like I really feel, just look at this map, man. Imagine if there was Cannon Battery Tempest here. There's no way Terran can take these bases, which means he's got to expand to those edges. Much harder for him to defend. I think this is the perfect map for the Tempest Storm style. But he doesn't have the cannon battery support. The carriers are getting picked off. Good Storm there, but it will kill a lot of his own Interceptors as well. 3 more carriers being built, +3 air weapons is almost there. I'd love to see a High Templar on this high ground. I think that's a really good area to have a little high ground feedback Storm boy. Oh, and he doesn't have any observers. Does he? Maybe he does. I think he does have an observer in the army, but with no cannons, if the observer gets focused down, that's a problem. High Templar gets sniped. Really good move. That Ghost being a D-bag, and he's trying to flank around. Look, he knows there's an observer in there somewhere. He wants to come in with the flank. EMP, he's going to look for the snipes, but he does get taken down before he can snipe. Never die. Remember, every single Ghost in StarCraft 2 is basically wants a Boromir death scene, a Sean Bean best death scene. They might not be the main character, but they think they are. Fire Ghost Lib coming in. The Lib's sieging up. Nexus is going to get denied. MaxPax is going to go around here. Does run into the Vikings. Vikings go for a volley. The Mad Lads take out a Tempest. There's so many Vikings. 23 Vikings with 3-2 upgrades against +3 and just +1 plasma shields for the Protoss. Mum is on the way. MaxPax has gotten mad. He's called his mum. See if she can save him. Carrier goes down. Oh my gosh, EMPs on everything. Storm's pretty good. Tickles the Ghosts and the Vikings. Does soften them up a little bit. I love the Stalker blink forward there. And can he get more High Templar forward is my big question. The answer is he has no energy left. There's no Storm. He's out of Storm. This is Clem's moment. Clem now has nothing standing in the way of him. And extreme Ghost prejudice. They are going to eliminate these dirty Xenos and clear them. Under the word of the God Emperor, Arcturus Manx. Big Storm does actually land on those Ghosts, damaging them, but also damages the Protoss units trying to chase. That ball of Ghosts is utterly savage. That one Colossus, one of the few counter units. Are there any observers left? I'm not sure if there actually is or not, guys. What a ridiculous engagement that was. We can see 18,000 resources lost difference there. MaxPax unable to close the distance with the Vikings. His army is mostly air units. The Stalkers are helping out a little bit. It doesn't matter how much you shout to your Protoss mama. She is not going to be able to save the day, I don't think. Clem's just been far too efficient. Then again, his income's not that high right now. He never had crazy orbital count, but he's still got plenty of minerals. These 2 bases are fresh, whereas what's MaxPax got? I guess he's got to transfer workers, doesn't he? Oh, Stalkers blink forward. Stalkers struggle to deal with Ghosts, though. Ghosts are not armored units, which means the Stalkers takes about, I think, 10 shots for a Stalkers to kill a Ghost. Oh my god, Mama! And she does go down! Second volley. Brutal. Storm comes in. MaxPax still trying to chase this force, but boy is it tough. That Viking count is savage. And the Stalkers are not enough there. I like the choice of trying something different for MaxPax with those carriers. I think I stand by it. I think Storm Tempest is probably the best way of taking down this late game style. I can't wait to see someone actually do it at a really high level. It feels like we're in the point. Why have I not talked about this that much in the previous patch? Because in the previous patch, Terrans didn't feel their late game was as powerful because the Storm was better. Did more damage. It was just better in late game. More damage, more cast range. So Storms were better. Vikings are cheaper now as well. So Vikings are 25 mils cheaper. I still don't know why they did that, but they did. Ghost has 25 more hit points. All these changes happen. Because of this, a lot of Terrans who still feel like they get mauled in the mid game a little bit and they're kind of stuck just trying to survive and turtle, they're realizing we're going to play for the late game. And that means you have this big window where, okay, Terran's like surviving on 3 base, trying to get a 4th command center, trying to then add these extra command centers, and they're not really looking for any aggressive timing or window. And I really wish, like in this game, it's like, what, 8 minutes to 15 minutes or something like that? It feels like all Clem's doing is just sitting at home and defending. And I just can't wait to see, in this meta, where the Terran players are giving you that 5-minute window of full map control, I want to see a Protoss walk up here, build some Cannon Battery Tempest, spread the High Templar out, which MaxPax is doing such a good job of, and start sieging him with the Tempests before he has 12 orbitals, 3-2 upgrades, 18 ghosts, and 32 Vikings. Once you let the Terran get to that stage, every Zerg knows this, Terran is nigh unstoppable. Terran has MAPAX with scan. They have, they don't need as much supply and workers because they can drop mules. Terran late game is the best. It is, or end game, I should say, has always been the best. But it's so hard to actually get there. And I think what we've learned over the years for Zerg players, and Cyril became the best at it, is you have to really use an advantage in the mid game. You can't just let them kind of casually stroll into the end game without doing something, either mining out their bases, sieging them with something, trying to break them in the early late game. And yeah, I don't know. I really hope to see that style limit tested. We did see Harstem try the style without the cannon battery and actually wreck Beyond in a few max battles at Stellarfest. I do think Beyond messed up his micro in those engagements, but I truly believe if you get the cannon battery forward, you can siege them down. In my experience, when there's a very repetitive meta like this in StarCraft 2, with what I think is a relatively obvious way of trying to deal with it, usually it takes about 6 months of me ranting about this before it becomes somewhat standard and everyone does it. So my prediction now, 16th of November as I cast this, goes 16th of May. Put it in your calendar. Let's see if by then Protoss players have started. If we don't have a balance patch before then, if Protoss players have started when they get map control in the mid game, just going straight to Tempests, building cannons outside their opponent's base, and just basically sieging them down in the most brutally painful way possible. We'll find out. Could be wrong, could be right, but only time will tell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. GG to Clem winning yet another grand finals, and I think this is probably the last ever cast we're doing on this previous map pool. So GG, well played, mate. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.